Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome in today for the 82nd episode of the Podwans podcast. I am joined by my co-host Hereth.
What's up, everybody?
Luke is not here at the moment. He is busy, but he will be here within the next few minutes. But as for right now, we're going to be carrying on our show without him. So, we got a good handful of guests on today, as we're going to be talking about season 2, episode 18, right? 17. I think it's 17. I don't know, Hereth, you can correct me.
I think
The
it's
episode is
17
titled
as well.
The Honorable Ones. This is going to be diving into Agent Callus and Zeb's story and them being trapped on a planet and them, putting their differences aside and coming together to solve a common problem. And we got a few guests on today to talk about that. But anyways, Hereth, are we ready to go?
Yeah, just about.
All right, let's get into the show.
The Jedi Knights are all but destroyed, and yet your task is not complete, Inquisitor. The Emperor has foreseen a new threat rising against him. The Podwans Podcast.
We are back. Okay, so our first guest on today, she has made probably her 500th appearance on our show, and she's also the honorary fourth member of the Podwans Podcast.
You mean the person that Luke apparently fired?
Yes, which is ironic because I'd say they're pretty close. She
Love
is
it.
the biggest Agent Callus fan that I have ever met and know to this day. And she fits perfectly with today's episode. But let's bring in Alanis and Nada Kyber.
And Hereth, you were correct. I was fired by Luke. So
Which is unbelievable.
back again in
I
the
mean, how
workplace.
can he?
Trash. Pure trash. But hello. Your intro was 100% correct. I am Agent Callus's biggest fan. And Disney is criminal for not giving him to me.
Well, they haven't given him to anybody yet.
But specifically me.
Because we have yet to see him outside of Rebels.
Okay, technically, you can count the fact that in whatever that online trading card bullshit game thing is, he did recently get a card.
Galaxies?
Yeah,
Galaxy
some
Heroes?
shit. I don't know. I almost bought it and then I really had to rein myself in. So I mean, something kind of in a way. And
Okay.
there was one comic that came out after Rebels that kind of showed him post Rebel times.
Okay.
Kind of.
So I mean, other
But
than
not really. That's just the
other than a
glut show
trading
of
card game in
information.
Rebels, we haven't gotten much Agent Callus.
No. But I mean
But in due
Disney?
time. In due time.
yeah, they could
In
just
due time, he
email
will
me.
come.
Disney,
All
I'll
right.
keep your secrets.
All right, so we have Alanis on as our first guest. Alanis, where can the good people follow you?
You can follow me at Nada Kyber on literally everywhere. You can follow me at Discovering the Galaxy on TikTok. That is where I talk about my Star Wars class. We made cosplays.
Hey,
And it was really cool. And today we made PSAs that actually turned out very funny. And you can also follow me at Is Agent Callus back.
All right, let's bring in our second guest on today. He is our friend from across the ocean or across the pond. My bad, across the pond. He is actually one of the two sisters of our Game of Thrones rewatch shows, and he comes on to talk about Agent Callus and Zeb Orrelios. Let's bring in our good old buddy Arya Stark, aka Grandmaster Bale.
Bonsoir, hello. Thank you for the honourable introduction. Yes, you can find me here every week watching Game of Thrones. This is my first time, and it's actually kind of fun, and it's not all boring, I swear.
Also, it's going to be a while before they get to this, but we're not going to say what. But Bale had something spoiled by, of all things, Family Guy? Like, what was going on with that, Bale?
We are not going to talk about that. I'm still fucking furious. Yeah. But, yes, hello.
Hope everything's going good with you, Bale. Bale, where can the good people find you on the social medias?
They can find me TikTok at Grandmaster Bale, Instagram at Grandmaster Bale as well, Twitter at Grandmaster Bale, and every Sunday or ish on Podwans Podcast for the Game of Thrones rewatches.
Also,
Yes.
Kenny's very hyped.
Yeah, Kenny.
Well,
I
Kenny was
love
here
the
early.
energy in this.
Kenny was here
today.
when a legend comes onto your podcast, people naturally get excited.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Kenny.
And no, I don't have any ego.
Yeah, Kenny's a dedicated pod
Fuck
wanderer.
up, Bill.
And I'm glad you're here, Bale. And our third
Thank
and
you,
final
sir.
guest on today, she is one of the most known Rogue One fans out there, and she has been on our show a few times, and she's coming on to talk about Agent Callus and Zeb and the whole shenanigans between the two. Let's bring in Stardust M.
Hello, long time no see.
Hey, Em, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, better than I was last week.
Better, yeah. But Em, where can everyone find you on social media?
You can find me on TikTok at StardustM, on Twitter and Instagram at _StardustM, and you can also listen to my podcast because we're on Relay with my co-host Liv and Hay. We have an exciting interview with Alyssa Wong coming out soon.
Oh, that's so
Awesome.
fun.
Awesome. That's good to hear. And also heard that you guys got lucky enough to get a panel at Celebration.
Yeah, Liv and Hay, they're doing a solo panel with some other besties, and they also are going to be on a panel about cosplaying from the books and the comics. So
Awesome. Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
good to
very
hear.
proud of them.
Yeah, but without further ado, before we begin, obviously we have our icebreaker question. I'm going to ask all three of you. Hereth, you can come in as well.
I guess I can comment. Oh.
So the whole what happens in this episode is Agent Callus and Zeb get stranded on a planet. And I want to ask all of you guys, if you were to get stranded on a planet with someone, who would it be and why?
See, I feel like my heart is giving me a million answers, but my brain is just giving me one.
I'll give you. So, Alanis, you cannot say any of the characters that were in this episode. I'll make it a little bit. I'll filter it out for you. You cannot reuse the
I
characters.
think Alanis and Bale are taking the same answer.
No, I would never want to be stranded on a fucking planet with that guy. I'd blow my brains out. I love that man to death, but I only love the Thrawn that I have crafted in my brain. If I actually look at that man and think about him as a person, infuriating. We would not get along.
I just
We would have,
imagine
like,
like
Ugh.
Thrawn just dropping some stats about like the planet's temperature and some stupid shit, and how like that relates to your escape.
And I would just be like, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you even talking about? I don't know what a port side is.
So, are we talking this from a functional perspective or for a just whatever perspective? I assume it's more of a just whatever perspective.
Just whatever.
Okay. Oh goodness, Babu Frick.
Babu?
Babu?
What?
Babu Frick. That's
What
it,
Babu?
He's a good engineer. He can mess with droid bits, and to be
I mean,
quite honest, I
valid.
need the company. He's cool. I like Babu Frick.
He would have fixed the transponder faster than Zeb did. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
You can't
Emma-
tell me he's not efficient at his job. He lifesaver, saved the galaxy. That's all I'm gonna say. And he's potentially the coolest thing about the Rise of Skywalker. So
Incorrect, but
true.
I mean, Emma, if you're I think where you're gonna go with this, I hope it's not the route you go with this, but if you are, it's gonna be an interesting reason why.
But yeah, Em, let's hear who you would like to be stranded on a planet with and why.
Saw Guerrera.
Oh,
Dog
okay. I thought you were gonna go Cyril. I was being like, that would be the worst
No.
option.
I love
Why
Cyril
Saw
very,
Gerrera?
very dearly, and I'm sure I'll talk about him because I have thoughts about the Callus and him connections. But I would kill him if we were stuck together.
Valid.
Touche.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I feel like if I were to be stranded on a planet with anybody, I'd probably go with.
Wait. Important. Which Saw? Like,
Also,
what era?
I think your internet froze.
Are we talking Onderon Saw? Or are we talking about Partisan
Because,
Saw?
like, here's my
I-
thing. Hot take. Onderon Saw. Smash.
That you know what? I don't blame you. Even like post Clone Wars Bad Batch Saw.
No, yeah, I would still totally agree with that, 100%.
I would say probably not Rogue One Saw because he'd be limping around the place and needing a respirator. I don't trust that respirator's working after a crash.
It could be a debate.
I've read enough fics. I'll just put it out there. There was just one really good one on Tumblr one time.
No, we lost them.
Yeah, I think the connection dropped out.
Yeah, but also Matt Murdock, he's stuck on a plane with Matt Murdock.
Wait, this is expanded from Star Wars? I thought it was Star Wars.
I don't care if that's not Star Wars.
I
I was going to say, hell, I'll choose the other options if I can go outside Star Wars.
I would never have to worry about what I look like, and he seems resourceful.
I 100% thought Brooke was going with Daryl Dixon. Not gonna lie, she's going non-Star Wars.
Yeah, but while she's here, let's take a quick shout out to talk about her store, Far Far Away Factory. If you want to look for any Star Wars, DC, or Marvel merchandise, whether it be earrings, t-shirts, sweatshirts, stickers, and all that fun stuff, you can go ahead and look at her website and Etsy page at Far Far Away Factory. You can also follow her on TikTok at BDazzler, and you can follow her on Instagram at Far Far Away Factory. Go ahead, buy her merch. Hereth has merch, Luke has merch, and I'm about to get merch. Don't worry.
I have merch.
Alanis also has merch. But yeah, go ahead, farfarawayfactory.com. But don't worry, I will buy merch.
Wait, I need your answer.
What was the question?
Oh, which version of Saw are you? Like, what Saw era?
Okay. Well, okay. I feel like past Jim, he's a little unhinged.
Yeah.
So I think ideally I'd want him in his like Rebel Rising era.
I love that.
I feel like that's pretty solid. You know, he's
Benjamin.
growing.
Thor. We got a Thor cameo.
Benjamin
No, this is
the moment.
Benjamin.
Oh, Benjamin.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, thank you, sir.
Austin in the chat said, "Share it Imwe, and I would pray, and we would pray together." Oh, interesting. I'm just trying to just you two in unison, just saying, "I'm one with the Force, the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force, the Force is with me," and they would just go on for a straight hour. That'd be amazing.
I mean, hey, it worked for him, so
True.
Yeah. So I'm
Eventually,
assuming,
just like, oh, I just have to go this way.
so Austin, I'm assuming you would be one of the Guardians of the Wills. Knowing, to be with Chirrut, it would be like, it would be cool. I mean, he would just whip everybody's ass, and you would have like really powerful insight. But he would pray a lot.
he would be good at like hunting food. He like eagle flies down. He could just.
Pat said, "I just want to be alone with my Choo-Chee.
I'm not at all
chance of
surprised.
getting rescued."
I'm saying Qui-Gon, by the way.
Qui-Gon.
Ooh.
I'm saying Qui-Gon, because like, one, he's going on that planet with something. We're gonna be able to vibe for at least a little bit, maybe a couple nights. Two, I think he's got a lot of cool stories. I think obviously personal stories, but also just like, Jedi lore stories. And I don't know, even if I wasn't Force sensitive, I feel like he'd move some rocks for me to make me laugh.
But I also feel like
that would make you laugh.
But I also
I'd be like, that's so fucking funny. You're moving a rock. That's so pointless. Like, what are you doing that for?
But I also feel like Qui-Gon would go on some bullshit about the will of the Force. Mitt brought us together to get trapped on this planet. And you're just
I'd
like,
be like,
after a while,
the will of the Force. You
So
want to
Alanis-
call it that? Is that what the kids are calling it
So
nowadays?
Alanis, using your logic, the very last scene in The Last Jedi where Rey comes to Crate and she's lifting all those rocks, that must have had you rolling on the floor.
Oh,
Right.
I
that's
was like,
another good
"Girl."
answer. Ray's a good answer as well because she's a really good scavenger.
I would
True.
just want to hang out with
The more I
Ray.
think about this question, the more I think
I
about
don't-
better actual answers.
Yeah, because I mean, you could also be with someone that you really like, but you also have to think, will this person help me survive? Or will this person kill me?
I would like to think like that, but my annoying brain thinks logically about these things. If we're going for shits and gigs, I think Babu Frick is kind of more of a shits and gigs answer, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, so Alanis said
Practical
Qui-Gon, Bale said Babu Frick, and I don't feel like he's like 100% certain on who he wants. M has Saw Gerrera. And then Hereth, who did you pick?
I haven't got picked one yet. I was gonna say Quinlan Voss.
Quinlan Voss. Huh.
Ooh, not a bad choice.
Psychometry would come in handy.
Yep.
Why didn't I say Cal Kestis, damn it? Sorry.
Oh, Cal would have been good too.
I mean, I'm gonna go pretty easy here. I'm gonna go Hano Anaka because he just finds a way.
He's like
He
one of my
finds a
favorite
way.
characters in all.
I would also kill him.
Hondo, you
If I wasn't, if I,
I get
was
fed up with him
sober,
so quick.
I just imagine being like, I smell pro.
so Em, you must really like going to Galaxy's Edge.
Never been.
You don't. Oh, shame.
I know. Hopefully this summer.
Yeah.
you know what? Actually, my second choice, hot take, Palpatine.
I mean, hey, he could fry your food for you. Lightning
know.
figures.
I'm not even talking just like survival. I'm just thinking about like interesting people to hang out with.
He would probably kill you to extract your life essence, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I just want to. I don't know. Maybe this is like my slight narcissism complex, but like I just want to have a conversation. Like I want to like actually
Oh, to
Palpatine.
be fair.
That's like and he can kill me right after. That's all I want.
That's a good like end quote, like yearbook quote, is it? The one person that wants to actually Palpatine.
Literally.
You're just like, I want to check his brain.
Yeah, I'm just like, I want to be like, what makes you so goddamn awful?
Everything.
Literally.
All right. Everyone in the chat, as we move on to the next section, go ahead and say who you would like to be stranded on a planet with and why. But anyways, oh yeah, we got Chris in here. Hello, what have we here?
You having a Lando photo op?
The Podwans says, what makes you think Alanis doesn't want him to suck the life force out of her? Oh,
I mean, someone made an edit of young Palpatine as
better calm
Tom
down the
Hiddleston,
Podwans.
and I was like, this can never happen.
Well, that was supposedly.
I know
gonna be
Matt
his thing,
Smith
wasn't it?
was
Yeah. Oh, Matt
supposed
Smith.
to.
because I am not strong enough
Robbed.
as a person to handle that. So I'm okay with that just being a theory and like a fun edit.
I want it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've been a Matt Smith stan since my like childhood of watching Doctor Who. I need him in more stuff.
I mean, I think Matt Smith would be an interesting young Palpatine,
Oh, he'd be fantastic.
given the right material.
Look how he does Damon. He does Damon fantastically.
Yeah, I hate Damon a whole lot, so I'm sure he.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. You hate his guts. You're supposed to.
all right. Without further ado,
Let's do the icebreaker to the icebreaker.
the icebreaker to the icebreaker, or Hereth, you want to just tag team the story?
No, let's
Do
do,
it, do
no.
it.
I thought we were doing explain the episode in 2 sentences or less.
I mean, I feel like one icebreaker is enough.
Let's icebreak the icebreak.
Nah, I feel like we can do the story.
Okay. Forget Lucas Egan.
Yeah, it's almost been a half hour.
He lost his chance.
Yeah, and that's his fault for taking the opening segment. But anyways, let's dive into the story of today's episode, the honorable ones. Obviously, that person on the intro is not here, and he's not going to be speaking at all. Hereth, you and I will be taking the reins for the story. So, the beginning of the episode, they are on their way to Geonosis. I'm forgetting what they were looking for exactly. Do you remember, Hereth?
I do not remember. I'm
But
the
they were
worst of
going
this.
they were going to Geonosis, and they were scanning the life forms on the planet, and they ended up finding out that there was none on the planet. They were all dead, and Rex was like, "No way! There's billions of bugs there." And so they see this construct outside orbiting the planet, and they want to go
Sick
check out to see what
Catalyst
information.
reference.
Yeah,
Sick.
and they wanted to go and see what information is in there, but it ended up being a trap. Stormtroopers were surrounding the group, and Callus was there. So when they were fighting off the group, Zeb and Callus, Zeb kept on fighting while everyone else went back to the Ghost. Zeb got separated, tried to take an escape pod out. Callus followed him, and then they ejected. They were going towards Geonosis. One of their engines got hit. They went down to the ice moon of Baran, which is what it's called. It's called Baran.
Of course you know that.
Yeah, I mean, I do my research every once in a while. But yeah, they get stranded there.
What kind of research are you doing over there, Char?
They land inside of an empty tavern or a cave, where it's freezing cold. There's no heat other than the heat that they have from the lamp and in the eventual rock that they find inside of that little exhaust or whatever it is called. But Hereth, what's the first question of the story?
All right. Callus explains to Zeb that he still didn't have the bow rifle that was gifted to him after besting another Lasat. How do you think the news affected Zeb after he looked at Callus?
Wait. Read the first part of the question again.
Luke words this in the weirdest way, so I'm blaming the Eggman here. Callus explains to Zeb that he didn't still have the bow rifle, but he was gifted it after besting another Lasat.
Okay,
How do you think that news affected Zeb?
I was about to actually him,
Okay.
but I understand what he was saying.
You could just do it anyway. We'd actually find it quite funny.
I think for Zeb, I think the whole conversation must have been very jarring. Because if you think about it, like all of Zeb's trauma and like kind of projection as a character is based around his perceived failure to his people. And Callus is kind of in the middle of that. So I think this kind of almost heart-to-heart conversation must have been just so overwhelming and confusing after like everything Callus did.
M.
Yeah, I mean, because I think sometimes because of like this is like, you know, the beginning of where we're seeing more of Callus, but I also think it really affects how the audience views him as well as Zeb, like, because we learn in like the first episode, doesn't he like basically is like, I'm gonna finish what the Empire started by killing you, and you're like, whoa, okay. So I think the fact that like, yeah, like Callus or Zeb's assumption that like he just hated the Lasats, but the fact that like he kept the bow rifle as like this almost respect thing, I think, yeah, then he starts to have this moment of like, oh, he's different than he seems. It's not just like this one-dimensional sort of villain. And it's supposed to be like, you know, Zeb and the audience are experiencing the same thing. Like Callus is not some like one-dimensional Imperial villain. He also has like a backstory that Zeb never thought about, or the fact that like, yeah, he would have respect for an opponent that he had beaten so much as to like keep it the weapon that he or like as like the Snot culture says, like rightfully earned. Yeah.
Bale.
Well, I think it's a very interesting thing to look at because it brings in a thing that we don't often really see in Star Wars, and that's trying to humanize both sides. And because it starts introducing nuance to Callus and why he did the way that he did, as Em and Alanis have already said. And I think that's an incredibly interesting thing to have, especially with an Imperial, because it's something we don't see a lot. They're always branded as the bad guys. They're always just evil with usually very little explanation. And it's interesting to always see a little bit of, well, this is their backstory. Because it doesn't necessarily allow you to relate to the character, but it allows you to almost emphasize with them in a sense. And it makes you really realize there's a person behind every person in the Empire. It's not all just a bunch of faceless, mindless, evil bastards. It's just everyone's their own individual, and I think that's one thing that it does do very well, especially for a Rebels episode. Yeah.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, and I mean, when you get to that scene where they're talking about the bow rifle staff, because Callus is hurt, and then when he puts his bow rifle staff against his leg to kind of stabilize it a bit, and he's like, and then Zeb's like, "Looks like you reconfigured your bow rifle staff for close quarter combat." I tried
Nice Steve Blum impression.
It was bad. It was bad. I'm sorry, Steve Blum. I'm sorry. Don't hurt me. All right. I'm sorry I botched your voice, but they go through all these different obstacles while they're inside that cave because Callus is complaining that he's cold, and then Zeb's like, "Suck it up," and then they go to over. They try to find a way to escape, and Zeb tried first by climbing the walls, falls immediately down, and then Callus is like, "Oh yeah, I can figure out a way to get up there, but you need to like, you know, you need to help me out. You need to make sure that I get out too."
Right, you gotta hand me your gun.
Yeah, and then the animal, I'm forgetting, it's like I think it's called a bonzami. Those giant beasts that come out of the cave that are in there that attack the two, and then Zeb's fending him off, and then Callus is like, "Wait, should I help or should I not?" And then Callus ends up helping him, which was the first step as to how their relationship and their friendship kind of built a little bit in their trust. Was that okay? Yeah, we can work together. It's not one-on-one in this instance. And then they fend him off, and then Callus is like, "You got to climb the pillars to get up because what's holding up this entire cave is the pillars, not the walls." And they end up somehow getting out, which the way that they got out was absolutely crazy. With how the bow rifle
Callus
staff was on
graduated
impressive.
first from the Royal Imperial Academy, so he knows a thing or two.
Hey, he didn't escape from his education. He escaped because Zeb threw him really high.
And he practiced those skills at the Royal Imperial Academy,
at the Royal,
which he graduated first from. When
it just has training of like, all right, now you're upside down. Get out of this.
Yeah, you got episode 5, Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, and then they ended up when they fed off the first one. They wait a little bit. They try to figure out, and then they find this little hot rock, and Zeb gives it to Callus. And like, "Oh yeah, here you go. Warm up a little bit, buddy." And then next time, 2 of them come, and then they actually have to try to escape.
Well,
Then they ended up doing some crazy maneuver where Zeb throws him up, and then Zeb uses the horn of the beast to kind of propel himself up towards the hole on top of the cave.
I was going to add something in quickly. I think the fact that Zeb gave that rock to Callus as well also speaks volumes on Zeb as a character, because he's often quite blunt is the word, I guess. He's very just dismissive, cracks a lot of wise jokes and insults. But the fact that when he saw his enemy, a literal person, someone who committed genocide on his people, suffering on the floor, he gave him that hot rock. Granted, probably didn't help an entirely large amount, but it helped somewhat, which I think is a real strong way of showing some of the core aspects of the rebellion as opposed to the Empire, where the Empire would have just taken that rock and whoever held it kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think the other thing with the rock as well is the fact that I think for most of Callus's career, basically, he did not see the rebellion as people.
Didn't see them as humans, no.
Right. And here's the thing. This is actually relatively new to Callus's Wikipedia page because I do check it frequently. As my cat is like
Benjamin's agreeing
so
with you
bad today. I am so sorry. Benjamin's being so bad. Anyway, they recently added a little portion to the end of the story where he talks about the attack on his platoon from the Lasat mercenary. And at the very end, it basically says that he was later asked to recount his story to this person. It's like Andressa Devo. And apparently the details of the attack, according to the article, were so bad that she was reluctant to like copy it down. Like she didn't want to put it down because it was so like awful. And I think that adds a whole nother layer to the scene, especially like just from what Callus says, we can tell that he definitely has an animosity and through his actions. But I think because of that one circumstance, he just lost the ability to see humanity in people, which is totally on him.
I
like
think
that's
a
like
really
a him
good way of
thing.
viewing it.
Yeah, and you know, it even shows, like, I think he stopped seeing humanity in a lot of things. Like, again, my favorite thing to reference is in the first episode, he literally kicks a stormtrooper off of a cliff.
Mhm.
Like, he's on your side, buddy. Like, he is on your side. And, like, what are you doing? So I think he just kind of forgot how to be a person. And I think being one-on-one with not only a rebel, but a Lasat, I think made him be like, oh my God, like he has a backstory as well.
Yeah.
I'm not just the only person in the world that bad things happen to.
Mhm.
You also realize as well by the end of the episode that because he tries to have that interaction with Constantine. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but he's like, "Oh, Admiral Constantine," is he's just like literally just staring at his table, Agent Gallus, and then walks off.
Mhm.
Like again, it's what Alanis said.
But I also feel like it's in Callus's nature that he also could have lied about the events a little bit just to like make it seem like that the Lasats didn't just gift him the rifle, that he kind of killed it and took it.
But I mean, Hereth, the other thing about it though, this was really
as well as the
a
context of the
changing
situation
moment of Callus. This was a very
But
big
he
moment.
didn't get the bow rifle during the platoonist did it. He got
Yeah,
it during the
the-
cleansing of the Lasat.
Okay.
The Lasat partisan
Yeah.
incident is separate from the
Cleansing of the Lasat, because that was with the ion disruptors and that thing.
So the Lasat partisan wouldn't have. He is
Happened
also
yet.
he is also still alive, I think,
Mhm.
because I think
Right.
those events
That-
happened before Rebel Rising.
could have
and he's
sworn that
mentioned in Rebel Rising.
I could have sworn that it mentions a Lasat in Inferno Squad as well, because that's the because a Lasat thing sounds familiar. I don't know if I'm thinking of the High Republic books when there's I think it's Lasat that takes hostage of, I can't remember who they are. It's in Into the Dark. It's the flashbacks for what's his face, Comac, and
I don't.
I
Think...
could have.
Oh, there is a
one was
Lasat in that.
Yeah,
one, but
I don't know
there's
if I'm
also-
getting muddled with that.
There's also a Lasat in Midnight Horizon.
I've read one somewhere, and I can't remember if it was the partisan one or if it was the other one. But yeah,
The
Bale's
Lasat
just thinking.
population has increased.
my
in-
brain just
in recent Star Wars media.
I mean, the main one's Fallen Order.
Yeah.
yes, true. Jared Apart. That's one thing I never realized he was a Lasat until I'd realized.
Well, it's because it's a Lasat in like quote unquote live action, so it looks realistic. And you're like,
yeah, they look realistic, and I didn't realize because I'm an idiot. And I looked at them like, oh my god, that's Callus with not Callus. Oh god, Zeb.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's 2 a.m. here. My brain's getting a little bit bedazzled.
British brain rot.
Yeah, British brain rot.
Yeah. But getting back on course, once they escape the cave, Callus has a very understanding moment with Zeb, with him saying, you know, it wasn't supposed to be a massacre on the San. I was just following orders. The Empire wanted to send a message. You know, I was just doing what I was told. And he was like, I know I might have taken all the credit for it, but it really wasn't all his fault. And then so he gave a little bit of closure to Zeb that it wasn't all him. It wasn't 100% Callus's fault. And I like the fact that because when Zeb fixed the transponder, it was open to all frequencies. So it was either the Empire came first or the Ghost crew came first. It was, you know, by chance. Anybody, you know, first come, first serve. And then the Ghost crew came. And the way they were able to like kind of like acknowledge each other before they left, it was kind of cool. Because Zeb was like, hey, my name's Zeb. And he was like, short for Garazeb. I know. Because I mean, he's like, you know, Callus does his research, you know, being one of the top students, the top student at the Royal Imperial Academy. We all know this.
Yeah. But you also know who also does their research? Kenny.
Kenny does his derailment number 1. Yeah, he. Okay, we're back on the counter.
I do have to say, with that scene, where Callus is like, "Hey, I was just following orders." I've been recently like thinking a lot about Callus as a character, and in a way, I kind of like the idea that Callus wasn't ready to fully accept his role in that action. So by him saying like, "Hey, it wasn't just me," is less of him like opening up and more of him being like, oh my god, I for the first time, feel bad about this. And I'm just going to say this to, lessen what's going on in my head. I do think he was genuine, though, but...
He was genuine, but it's kind of like when you do something bad at school and you get cornered for it and you say, it wasn't just me. Like, it's certainly trying to redirect, saying, well, it wasn't, the other guys did the genocide. I just filmed
it.
Like,
honestly, I was the drummer. Worse, but... I was the flute player.
Wait, we're on to something. Callus is 100% the person that would film a school fight and be like, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think he was genuine because I think too part of it is he was posturing to try to seem worse than he was because that's what he thought he had to do to like get the rebels.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I think when he says, like, oh, I wasn't that big of a part of it, he's just trying to be like, I mean, yeah, it is kind of what you say, like, oh, it's not like I didn't do the whole genocide, but like he is trying to be like, in a way it's admitting to like a little bit like his manipulation, the fact that he used that to get a rise out of Zeb to like twist him, especially in like that one fight they have. So in a way it's like kind of this like apology too. It's like, I said this, but like I didn't mean it, and why I said it because you knew that I wanted to like
well, that look at the nature of the Empire, a good majority of it is other Imperials claiming credit for things they technically wasn't just them, but they use it to raise their standing. Krennic, the Death Star. Well, Tarkin then literally steals it from Krennic, claims it as his own, gets like a promotion. Like it makes Callus have a lot more sense, I guess, with that as well. And think about it.
Absolutely. But also, it's not totally unrelated because Geonosis.
Oh dear.
No, that scene when they land on the planet, and then Zeb was like, "I'm surprised Geonosis has such a different terrain," and then Callus is like, "No, that's Geonosis. We're on one of its moons."
Not Callus, actually.
That educated mutton chop looking man.
See, everything comes full circle.
Royal Imperial Academy education. He really paid attention in his history of the galaxy.
You love the Royal Imperial Academy, don't you?
He knows
I know an uncomfortable amount about the Royal Imperial Academy. I know I literally in this book I have a list of their courses that they take. That's fucking crazy.
Alanis, can you confirm this is canon?
Hey, you're in character. That's you in character. You're a teacher and you're teaching a Star Wars class, and the fact that you have all of the Imperial Academy's courses written down,
as long as you don't put it on your curriculum, it's fine.
It's good.
No, like this entire like page right here. That is all facts about the Academy, like classes, teachers.
Well, that's from the first Thrawn book as well as Callus.
Yeah, that's where most of the information comes from, and a little bit of Lost Stars.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Because CRA and everyone,
yeah.
Pain.
All right, and then to finish off the story, we have Zeb escaping, and the Ghost Crew had no idea that Callus was there. And he was like, oh, it wasn't that bad. And then Ezra was like, I'm cold. He's like, you've been out here for 2 seconds. He's like, 2 seconds too long. And then they leave. And then Callus gets picked up.
Why do you know that dialogue?
Also, I'm going to say this.
I'm going to say a guy. I like to remember things.
Also, I'm going to say this on the podcast. Bale and I were watching this episode together. I literally go, that's just literally Carter. You can't change my mind.
Yeah, no, we literally 5 minutes before the podcast was supposed to start.
And then Callus brings the rock with him. And then he goes into his chambers and he puts the rock on his little
Fellas.
He has.
Fellas. Is it
just guys being dudes?
Fellas, is it gay to take the little warming rock?
It's just completing the enemies to lovers arc, it's just starting it.
Honestly,
I have some thoughts on them being lovers by some people.
Benjamin.
Ben Solo is not in that relationship.
No, I just watched him rip down an entire row of shirts that I had hanging up. Oh, the cat is a menace.
Why do you think Benjamin's Star Killer, Char?
He's angry. He's angry.
Yeah, no.
And he wants
Benjamin's
wants
actually
vengeance.
canon, but
Yeah, I was like, canonize
Climbing
Benjamin.
my curtain.
Alanis, give
Sir.
Alanis,
Benjamin his yarn.
you are
No.
you are way more tolerant with your cats than I am.
Well, he's exploring. He's still a baby.
Also, Chris's comment right here is perfection.
Aw.
First stone in the foundation of their relationship.
So true.
Yeah.
Aw,
Canon.
wait, I like that.
I mean, it's true. I mean, that's the first time they actually, had to come together and
It's
work
the
through
fact it's
things.
the only
Oh, wait.
item he has in his room as well that's so depressing.
Alanis, do you remember our headcanon too about how he said whenever Callus is like he learns about a rebel's death, he would
And
put
then they
the
make
stone to make a memorial for them?
That's horrible. That's horrible. We made this worse for ourselves. Anyway, we have a shared headcanon that after Callus joins the rebellion, anytime he finds out that a rebel dies, he like adds like a rock or like something to like a little shrine that he made for himself, because since he knows all of the awful things he did with the Empire can't be solved, that he could create something beautiful out of it.
That is nice.
This is for a character that has 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 3 seconds of screen time. People.
Anytime you guys just bring up the timestamp, you just gotta bring it up whenever you get a chance.
You mean showtime?
I did math.
Oh my god. But Char.
Yes, but without further ado, ironically enough, he's here at the end of a segment. Let's bring in Luke Agan. How
Welcome
are
to
you?
the Eggman.
Hey, Luke Agan, how are you?
By the way, I'm the only person that Alanis has. I'm the only person that Alanis has fucking put Agent Callus over. So
That's true. That is canon.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
I
saying.
take that as a very high achievement, Luke.
it is very that's gonna be on my next resume. I'm just saying.
My
kind of an
girlfriend picked me
accomplishment.
over
You know
a
what I
fictional
can't wait for? I can't wait for the celebration profile pic with Callus over Luke again. Upgraded and improved.
No,
I gotta get
no.
Bale.
Upgraded and improved.
Paper
Hey, Luke, this
mask.
shit here
it
gotta
was,
go
cute,
with
it
that
was cute
cosplay.
and funny once. Then it just gets spiteful after the second time. Then you're just saying that I'm not.
Or
I'm not enough.
Luke, you could
That's-
just have a
Hey.
Callus cosplay.
You know what? I was up for it, and she never took the bait. So this isn't on me. This is on her.
I'm not going to
God.
comment
There you go. Hey,
because you know that you're wrong.
checkmate. No, I'm right. All right, Char.
Oh, good God.
But Luke, hey, good segment, Luke. But let's move on
I know,
to my
right? I
segment
did
of
such
What's
a
today.
the-
good job there.
Also, new intro for Char segment.
We do have a new intro for myself for
yeah,
the lore,
right.
the lore segment of today's
Yeah.
episode, the honorable ones.
Yeah,
Let's hit it.
yeah.
Drum roll, please.
How proud of this podcast you've constructed. The ability to tell 3 interesting facts is insignificant next to the power of the law.
Did he combine 3
Interesting.
interesting facts and
That's
lore?
a good
Yeah.
one.
Hey, that's a 2-for-1 sale right there. All right. So we dive into the lore of the honorable ones. So the lore for today's episode is enemies becoming allies. In this episode,
Or
it centers
lovers.
Lovers in this case. Lovers.
I was about to say. I was
allies.
expecting lovers.
All
at this point, allies.
All I
Okay.
gotta say is, Callus is definitely bottom.
I mean, it's canon. Even Steve Blum's like, they're fucking guys. Come on.
Zeb does
Okay.
all of the work.
Luke,
Callus
you're-
doesn't
All right,
do
Kenny,
anything.
we're
You're
derailing
opening
number
a
3.
can of worms that I don't know if it should be opened.
But Alanis, what are your thoughts on Callus being on bottom? Tell me.
Yeah, I could see it. To be honest with you, I really think it takes Callus a long time to warm up to the idea of sex. I don't think he's like a
Yes.
hit it and quit it type of guy. Clearly, he has attachment
So-
issues because his entire platoon was killed and he didn't get to say goodbye to them, obviously. So, man's got some baggage. And also
Demisexual
the
Cal is
entire
so true.
yeah, and like the entire time in the Empire, he
true.
couldn't like build relationships. Also, his best friend Jovan, that he grew up with, he had to arrest.
Real quick. I don't know why I said real quest. I do show up, okay? I am here.
You're just 44
for
minutes late.
81 episodes. Actually, I've only missed one other episode.
No, you missed more than
It's
one.
fine, Luke. It's perfectly acceptable.
No,
It's fine.
I've
We're
only
gonna
missed.
stay
I've
to your
only.
own podcast.
No, I really only. I've never missed an episode
I
where I haven't been on.
swear. I swear it was.
While Luke's attendance is very interesting, I'm going to continue talking about Callus.
Oh, God, here we
Good.
go. Here we go. Here
I'm
we
gonna
go.
continue
Just
talking
go
about
ahead.
him.
Just here. It's now the Alanis Callus show.
Thank you. I was
Everybody
waiting
just
for
go
that.
ahead.
Thank you. I was waiting. Can I get a crown too? I've
No.
been waiting.
No, you don't
Edit
get
it.
a crown.
You'll get Imperial
Then
officer
your
hat.
ego goes all the way
But
up here.
Luke, you need to
keep
give
on
it to her because she got fired from the show.
Yeah, I did get fired.
Don't get into the whole firing. We all know who.
We already
decided
did
to
at the
get her
beginning of the
fired.
episode.
I got fired. But anyway, also the fact that Callus, his best friend growing up in the academy, was Jovan. I do think they were together in the academy. They were besties. And then Jovan committed tax fraud.
Okay.
Literally. No, like
So here's the
literally.
thing. So is Jovan? I swear, I'm not trying. Honestly, when I hear Jovan, I'm like instant mobster.
Also,
with the tax fraud.
Also, I'm trying to imagine what the tax man looks like for the Imperials.
Hey, the
what
IRS
happened
and the
was-
Imperials
I
don't
can't
fuck
believe
around, man.
that's why Callus hates Han so much. Is because
Yeah.
Han is just committing so much tax fraud, and it makes Callus like so upset.
Yeah, because Jovan was like or it could be Jovan. It was in a comic, so I don't really
No, it's
know.
Jovan.
I've
No,
just been saying Jovan.
it's Jovan now.
Yeah, it
Jovan.
is. It is.
He goes down to the shore every summer, and he just
well,
goes
that's
hard.
literally because he was taking all of the money and he was like using it for himself. And when Callus like confronted him, he was like, "Hey, dude, we were friends. Just like let me go. It's like not that bad.
Come on,
It's
you can
happening
join me down-
everywhere."
you can join me in the shore later. Come on, man. We can have fun.
Honestly, that's so valid of him. It's just tax fraud.
Literally,
let
like
him
he's
go.
not killing anyone. But then
Everyone has
Callus,
bigger things to worry about.
right? And then Callus arrested him, just flat out arrested.
What a terrible fucking person. What a terrible friend.
I mean,
let him get away with tax.
I'm just thinking of the scene from Batman the Animated Series, and Joker's like, "I'd rather face Batman than face tax invasion."
Then the IRS.
IRS? No, thank you.
yeah.
But anyway,
um,
long story short, Callus would probably be the bottom. But it would
For sure,
take him
like, that's-
very long to get there.
In the words of Discount Sansa Stark, he's a power bottom.
Yeah.
Or
I
just a
get behind that.
bottom.
At first I
can't get
didn't
around
connect
with
the discount, and then I was like, when did Sansa say that? Like,
Season
I was like, wow, the
6,
last season of Game of
episode
Thrones
5.
did get weird.
Yeah, by the way, just like oh my god, I can't believe I'm blanking on her name. Oh my
Cows.
god.
Else?
Fake fan.
No, not Kels. Sansa
Sophie
Stark's
Turner.
Sophie Turner. Sophie Turner
There
just
you go.
turns to the camera and goes, "Did you know Agent Callus is a power bottom?" Like
That's my
Or-
favorite scene in
that
Game of
might have
Thrones.
been-
You
that-
know,
honestly, that probably would be better than the Starbucks cup when season 7 first aired.
8.
Or season 8.
Eight.
But,
Big fan.
But let's be honest. Callus is a flea bottom.
Oh.
Very, very, very tiny.
Packing heat.
No, not
Mhm.
at all.
No,
He's
Callus
not-
is packing.
Alanis, stop living out that dream. He is small dick energy, okay?
Yep, flea
He
bottom.
left the only place
He's not a
he
power
knew
bottom.
that was home. He left his
He-
career and his
How does
family.
wait, hold on. So we're saying that he has
Luke,
a
accept
big
it. Agent
dick.
Callus has a bigger
Because he
dick than you.
left
Move
his
He's
on.
packing. He's packing,
make,
Luke.
Make it make
Move
sense.
on.
It's kind
Make
of
it make sense.
embarrassing that you're having this reaction to a
Do you
fictional
know how
character
tall
that I
he
like.
is?
Yeah, that's another.
Just
Yeah.
because he's tall doesn't mean he's hung like a horse.
Except in this case, it does.
It is. It's
Whoa,
canon.
whoa.
Luke, take your penal insecurities somewhere else.
I don't have any insecurities.
Mm.
I just like to argue about this.
I mean,
For
this
that-
isn't
for
the
that
craziest topic we've had on Pod Ones. It still goes to clone
No,
fucking.
I mean I had
Yeah.
literally talking about feral stuff. Remy, yeah, I had to cut out a whole section because we were talking
About
about
moisture evaporators.
no, I kept that part in.
Yes.
I took out the part where I said, "Hey, Remy, in all seriousness, would you sit on his face, Slick's face?" She said, "I would sit on every clone's face." And then Char pops in and goes, "Even 99?"
Wait, did this happen after I lose power?
No, it was in the first episode.
All I will say is that going on a podcast about clones with Danielle and
Oh,
Remy
wow,
is a
yeah.
It's
eye-opener
peak
to
podcasting.
fan-fictions.
It's eye-opening.
Yeah,
But anyway, sorry,
that's
Char.
all I'm saying.
I had to derail it. Go ahead.
Yeah, the lore of today's episode is enemies becoming allies. Luke, don't interrupt me. In this episode, it centers around Zeb and Agent Callus putting their differences aside to survive on the frigid moon of Bahrain in the Geonosis system. In the franchise, there have been many times where a protagonist and antagonist come together to achieve a common goal. Examples are such as Obi-Wan and Asajj Ventress teaming up to face Maul and Savage in the Clone Wars, Ben Solo and Rey attempting to defeat Palpatine in The Rise of Skywalker, Crosshair saving Omega from drowning after the destruction of Kamino during the first season of The Bad Batch, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Dooku helping each other escape from their capture of Hato Anaka, and many more. There's so many of them.
Last Jedi throne scene.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
that's
probably a
good.
better one than the Palpatine one.
Facts though.
True.
They
Uh,
were
but-
deadly.
It could be better, but there's so many. I can't name them all. That would take
All right.
forever. It would take as long as Luke's been gone. But if you were
Zinger.
if you were in a conflict with someone you'd hate, who would be someone you would hate but would love to team up with?
Honestly, accurate.
You speak her name and she
She
shall
will
appear.
Good God.
I know Remy would it would go straight from it would be Hunter, but she
Yeah.
would not hate Hunter. She would love to
No,
team
you
up
have
with
to
him.
team up with someone you hate.
I would say.
In order to-
but
in
what
order to-
clone does Remy hate? Does Remy hate any clones? That's
No,
the real
she doesn't.
question.
She literally said that she would sit on any clone's face. So
Okay,
is she really gonna hate any?
I love how
clone?
you're like, I cut this out of the episode, but you say it in the podcast. I just love that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
with the
Okay.
question, is this bad? Is this bad? Like, if you don't like their actions or you don't like their character? Because that's two different questions.
Character.
It could be
Oh
both.
yeah, I
This is-
forgot.
this
She
is-
doesn't
this
like.
is
If
my-
we're
Remy.
going actions,
So-
I'm a safe Thrawn.
My God. What would you just
Actually, no.
pick
character.
somebody else
Character,
original?
character,
God.
Character.
Yeah, Luke, you're a fake Pod Ones fan. You were watching in the chat, but you weren't watching it really.
But
I was actually driving.
we'll start with
While I
M.
was-
We'll start with M. M. What's one character you hate in Star Wars, but you would have to team up with in order to survive a situation that's putting you in a bad spot?
I
That's so
bet I can
bad.
pick
I
it. I
can't-
bet I can pick it out. I bet I can
I
pick it
can't
out.
say
Em.
my answer. I can't say my
Em,
answer.
say it.
Come on,
You're
Em,
gonna
say
get
who you
mad.
hate.
I know
Say who
exactly
you
what
hate.
you're gonna say. Em, say it.
Anakin.
Yeah, I knew she was gonna say it. And you know what? I don't hate that because you know what? He would absolutely do the absolute wrong thing, but he would be so useful in like
Yeah.
getting out of a.
No, that's what I'm saying. He would. I mean, he would definitely save me. Like, I don't doubt that.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I don't hate that answer.
Also, we knew Chris was gonna say Fox. Like, why are we surprised?
I mean,
So M said Anakin. Bale, who is a character you hate but you would have to team up with in order to survive?
Don't say Thrawn.
no, yeah,
Well, he doesn't hate Thrawn.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you gotta hate the person.
Well, I was
You're gonna hate him.
clarifying. Do we hate their actions or their character? You clarified.
No, you
for me,
hate
so I'm
their
picking up.
You hate
character.
the character. You
That's
hate
what
the
I said.
character.
You've clarified, so I'll answer it.
That's
Let me finish.
Clarify
On
10 minutes
ice.
ago, Bale.
Bale. I knew what you were gonna ask, and I answered it in my
Listening
head.
ears on.
I answered it in my head, and it didn't come out of my mouth. So that's just unfortunate.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm gonna choose one now.
Yeah, good. About time. About 10 minutes later.
Can I? Are you done?
Wait, hold on. I don't
Okay,
think I am.
We need to grab a guillotine and find whoever made that
That's the
question.
question.
You're under arrest, you piece of crap. You ain't never getting out of prison.
Now,
Good God.
Luke, I need to
Right.
find you a clip. I need to find one that just to like. Alanis will tell me one probably. Alanis will find one.
The best
The
one. best
Kenobi
one-
crying one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
No, nah. Alanis will find a better
No,
one.
that's,
Okay.
that's too easy.
Too easy. That's too easy.
Sorry, Bale. Sorry, Bale.
There are very few characters that I actively hate. That's the thing.
Come on, Bale, you have to have a character you don't like. You do. You despise.
There is.
You hate their presence. You hate their energy.
Bale, you already know what I'm gonna say.
Okay, well, I'll go with
I
one I
don't
used
dislike
to hate.
Anakin that much.
Well, that's the thing, because I can't say with the one I used to hate and despise, because Em's already said it.
But that's the thing about Star Wars. There's always characters you hate, and there's characters you really love.
I'm trying to think of one. Go to Alanis and I'll think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can give mine. My Glup Shido answer is Bakif. I hate that motherfucker. From the Ascendancy series.
Yeah.
Oh, good choice.
I thought you were going to go with Thurfian.
Ah, big Thurf.
So do you hate Bakif, or do you just like?
No, I genuinely hate Bakif because of the last chapter of Lesser Evil.
Okay.
Valid though.
Yeah. Thurf, I can. He's like fucking annoying. But
What's Bale doing? Bale's meditating over there.
You know, Thurfian just has a big giant hate boner for Thrawn.
Yeah, Thurfian's weird. My more not Glup Shido answer, Arinda Price. Because here's the thing, the both of us could girl boss our way out of any situation. We would gaslight, gatekeep, and girl boss that fucking galaxy. We both have no morals. I can't stand her, but I think we would work well together. But it would be a very fake, very
But
fake.
she would slay.
Yeah, and then afterwards we would just talk shit about each other for like fucking years. Like,
and when you were together, you'd be talking a lot of shit about other people.
Oh,
exactly.
100%.
Pat said, I hate to say this, but team up with Meeber Gascon. Meeber Gascon. And then we have Kenny who says, I would say Cody, but Bad Batch redeemed him very well. I'm going to say Ponkrell.
I know. Look, you already know my answer.
Remember, Kenny, you have to survive.
Yeah, say
with
it.
Ponkrell.
Sorry, you got me off the comment. I was going to say Kiadi Mundi.
God damn it. That's what I was going to say.
Fuck Kiadi Mundi.
I fucking hate that bastard. What about the Taka the Waka? How about you win a goddamn battle on my computer?
No, that's not even the worst thing he did. It was the Yoda arc when Yoda's like, "Oh, I'm talking with Qui-Gon."
Yeah.
You can't talk to the dead.
Hey,
it's the fucking Force, Kiadi.
Hey, Kiadi, Moody. Use your two fucking brains for once, jerk.
By the way, I did not say Yoda because the thought of having to work with him sickens me. I couldn't even get over that mental hump.
For a fact, you could ask, if you asked him, what do you think we should do? He'd say, well, what does your mind tell you you should do? He's like, that's
he'd give some fucking half-ass riddle.
Wait, I'm imagining.
He just climb on your back and like want you to do all the work.
Yeah.
I'm imagining like it's the exact same situation as Zeb and Callus. He breaks his leg, he falls, and you're trapped with him.
I'd leave him. Bye.
Are you
fucking gremlin?
I can't believe you literally were. There you go.
I mean, Remy is literally
Alanis'
daughter. It's canon.
No, it's seriously.
Hey, he's getting out of that cave pretty easily.
Those who curb stomp Yoda together stay together.
Facts.
But Bale, who did you go yet?
Did you pick one? My God,
Bale, dude, Bale, you're a Star Wars fan. You took a moment to look at your book.
I haven't touched Star Wars. I've been reading Game of Thrones.
So time out. This is pretty fucking easy. It's 1, 2, 3. I would choose Maul. See how easy that is?
That's a good one too.
That's a good one too.
I don't hate Maul. I like Maul.
I mean, he split literally into two. So
I think he's overrated as shit.
Thank you, Luke.
He's literally the worst character. He is basically if he never showed up in Clone Wars, I wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, Phantom Menace Maul is boring as fuck.
Literally, he's literally the most bland ass character.
Clone Wars at least adds some depth and makes him interesting, and then so did Dathomir Rebel.
Even then, he's bland. He's milk toast, as they would call it on Duel of the Rings. He's a milk toast character.
Milk toast is an excellent.
I'm pretty sure Jesse's somewhere in the world planning your assassination for that one.
Hey, he's got layers. He's got layers. He's like an onion.
So
Yeah, layers
does
of armor.
Maul.
Layers of armor and emotional damage. Fuck.
You know what? I'm just gonna say.
Oh
what's
my
his name?
god.
Chris, why would you say that when I'm in the room, Chris? Chris, why would you? Why would you even bring that up? Why would you even speak her name?
Christopher, you really know how to just fuck everything up, don't you, bud?
Hey, slander spoken. Print its life.
Anyway,
Oh my
okay,
God.
Bill.
J. Jonah
For the
Jameson.
last time. this is
Brendan
the last-
Hawks.
There you
Hawks.
go.
I don't know how many
Wait. Armitage or Brundle?
Oh
The-
my
the
God! Does it
ginger-
No!
matter?
Why, Char?
He
The
gave us an
ginger one.
answer.
Oh,
They're both
Armitage.
ginger.
I was gonna say they're both.
Well, you're down.
The one in the movies.
Well, you know
the
what?
One in the movies.
We're picking
Armitage,
both of them.
General Hawks.
because he
Armitage
doesn't know
Hawks
the
because
other
he's a
one.
little rat the second he gets his foot squished.
I mean, he's a
That's
spy.
why I
just
hate
like,
him.
you know.
There you go.
I-
See?
That's
See how
why I
easy
hate him.
that
I
was?
can't think of how he's that much useful, but that's why I hate him. Well, because I'm trying to think of someone that's useful, and I can't come up with a good answer.
I don't think it's somebody that's useful.
I didn't think of anybody useful. I thought Kiwani Monday.
Because then
He's
when
a
you
Jedi.
because then when you
Exactly.
because then when you turn around.
I mean,
Aw, geez.
It's
God.
over, everybody. The podcast is over.
All right, bye guys. That's the end of my
to be
career.
fair,
Yeah, Luke,
the
go
situation
back for more
you're
another half hour.
describing with Hawks is basically just the plot of Phasma.
Oh my
Like,
Yeah. I mean, if you think about
actually,
it, yeah,
I
do
could have
work
said Phasma
really well
either.
together, and they both want the same goal with taking out Brendel. So
I guarantee the second this episode is done, I'll come up with about 20 people that I would have answered for that
That's
question.
all always
so-
works, Bale. Why are you
Well,
surprised?
yeah, that's why I'm the most annoying person to have on podcasts. Because 5 minutes later, I'll re-enter a discussion we had 5 minutes ago.
Or,
Yeah,
or,
I remember those.
or you just keep on going and we can't stop you. It's one or the other. But
Look.
I digress. We all answer that question.
Digressing and digressing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but the character I would pick, I hate this character so much, and I don't think that he would help me in any way on this thing. But I feel like maybe he could. General Grievous.
Oh, Grievous would be the absolute worst.
I hate General Grievous,
Slay.
but
Canon
somehow we
Grievous
would
is the
find a way
most
to make it
dull
work.
character.
He's
So is Legends
agree.
Grievous.
Legends
No,
Grievous
Grie-
is at least cool.
Legends Grievous had a little bit of
no, but it's
onions or
Grievous
layers
is
of
like,
It's
onions.
like a little. It's like a little piece of gold in his shit.
You had badass wielding Saber Grievous, and then you had Mr. Wet himself at the smallest sign of trouble Grievous. I prefer badass lightsaber wielding Grievous rather than the one
So-
that leaves a little trail of.
So let me explain why I hate Grievous. So
Make it quick
Grievous is such
before I lose powers,
he-
because that's definitely
okay.
a possibility.
You know, like I did during the Bad Batch reaction.
Yes.
okay. So Grievous, he's never beaten a Jedi Master. He can hardly even beat a Jedi Knight. And people, bring him up and romanticize him because he has more than 3 lightsabers. Wow, what a guy! But that's about it. That's literally all his character is. He's got lightsabers and he's
He
not
spins really
dominant.
fast.
All right. Now, with that being said, we're gonna go to Hereth's section.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
I just love watching Luke go completely oh my god, what the hell's my life? During the break, I just said I'd bring that into the podcast. I'm sorry. Anyway, by the end of the episode, we see Callus and Zeb come to a mutual understanding of each other. Do you think this event is the first domino to fall for Callus to turn on the Empire? I'm going to Alanis first because that's the automatic answer for this. I was gonna just give her the entire segment, but
part of me wants to say yes, but I truly don't think that Callus becomes fully immersed within the rebels until through Imperial Eyes. I think I wouldn't say this is like the first push of a domino effect. I think this is the action of pushing it. Because honestly, if let's just say something happened with him within the role as Fulcrum that he eventually steps into. If something went wrong with that, or maybe he got like one last, really good promotion at the end, I think that could have swayed Callus, but I don't think the dominoes actually fell until through Imperial Eyes when Ezra risked it all to save him.
Risking it for the biscuit.
No risk it, no biscuit.
Anyway.
Bale.
Yeah. Sorry, Char, you should be saying the names.
Exactly.
Oh my god! Wait, can't. I'm gonna do this. Sorry, Luke wasn't here for the first like 50 minutes of the episode.
All right.
Now we're in
Somebody
control.
jump in. Bale, you got something to add. Here we go.
I agree. I think that I don't think it was the first domino to fall. I think this was the hand pushing the dominoes. I think this was when, because even at the beginning of the episode, you can see how stuck in imperial ways that he is. The fact that when they were having that discussion about like how like they managed to like turn rebel sympathizers to the empire. So I think this was that moment of like, oh, what I'm doing is bad. I have seen the direct impact of my actions on an individual, and he comes back and and then he has this connection with them, and then he comes back to this sterile environment where nobody even like noticed he was missing. And I think it all started to like brew within him of like, this is not right and this is not what I should be doing. And like also, of course, morally, or like not morally, but like morally, yes, but also like considering Callus's ideals of like order that he clings so deeply to, like this is also not like the order that he wants, and the order that he wants to enforce throughout the galaxy. But I agree. I think another like big moment was, I don't know if that's through Imperial eyes, but the moment between him and Sabine and like Wedge, when he lets them go and he says, tell Garrus that we're even.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, like, and I think that was another moment that really cemented him in, this is like what I have to do. This is me being a part of the Empire is no longer acceptable.
God, I love that scene. Now I'm just thinking about it again.
It's such a good scene.
And then just the way they cut the door. Oh,
yes.
Cinematography.
Some of these one-liner Callus scenes, that, and then like the I by the light of Lothal's mood, like, oh, it's so good.
You have a heart of a rebel. I'll take that as a compliment. Ah, so good.
Oh,
Heart of a rebel. That's what I came back to. What were we talking about?
we're talking about Callus quotes.
Callus quotes.
Also,
But
I was
wait,
tempted to do
really
this.
quick.
This is actually what the podcast is really like now.
Pretty much. I do want to very quickly derail, and this derailing is for M and M only. Callus's tight black shirt in season 4.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only way they should have depicted him the whole time.
Yeah, no. Mm-hmm. That's something about that last look, and his hair is a little
messy.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that nobody like I know you were trying to look for it, but the fact that nobody there's like nobody, no cosplay manufacturer making the Rebel Callus jacket.
I looked everywhere.
I just wear it every day. I just wear it around.
I would. That would become my everyday jacket.
It's iconic.
I just imagine you walking into your high school class wearing the Agent Callus jacket.
Oh, 100%.
Giving a lecture with it.
Oh, yeah. When I talk about the Jedi, I wear full Jedi robes.
Yes, she does.
That, you know what? You gotta respect it.
I forgot what we were actually talking about. I'm sorry.
Callus,
domino effect.
Oh,
will
okay.
just turn him.
All right, I answered the question.
Yes, you did. Bale?
It's the start of a domino effect, really. It's an eye-opener. It's finally trying to, it's finally empathizing and opening channels, I guess, between the two. It's kind of already both been said by M and Alanis better than how I can word it, but it's essentially an eye-opener, really. You're
probably right.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's why I'm saying it. Yeah.
I love how this episode for Bale has now become anything they just said, but basically yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
that-
what they said, yeah. We should have just started with Bale and then let the other
this
two
does
just
it.
talk.
This does it. He can't be on any episode that Alanis is on. Can't do it.
Sorry, through Imperial
does it.
Eyes, Bale's been
Oh,
punted.
If you
Sorry-
boot me off
sorry
of the
for-
Thrawn episodes, I'm going to kill you.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take the expert that has been studying Thrawn forever than the pint-sized Brit. I'm sorry.
It's really
The
not the
pint-sized
flex
Brit.
that
Oh.
I think it is. It's actually pretty sad, the amount of shit that I know about this character.
Also, I love how Luke has to constantly like gatekeep for Alanis. Like Alanis can't gatekeep himself. Luke has to gatekeep for Alanis. This is how this works.
I am confident in not a lot of things, but one thing I am confident in is that Agent Callus is my bitch.
Can we just have that? It's just like I know we have a Luke
That should
quote
be a
talk, but
side-
that should be
a
Alanis's like
soundbite. That should
yes.
be a soundbite.
yes.
Yep.
All
Our-
I know in my life is that Agent Callus is
It
my
is my
bitch.
bitch.
Hey, that should be your introduction for the next episode of
Sith-Faced?
Sith-Faced. Hi,
No,
my
we
name is
have a running
Alanis.
document for those.
Oh well, I would add that one. Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. Did nobody else get the memo besides me and Remy?
No, we did not get
Did
the memo.
nobody else sign a contract?
No, I
Or
just
was
made
I
you
the
do
only one that had to sign the
I
contract?
think you're the only one that had to sign it legally.
Yeah, legally.
legally. The benefits. I tell you, the benefits.
And you know what? Anyway, speaking of benefits, Char, do you have some benefits of 3 interesting facts? I know that's a terrible transition, but you know, here we are.
Oh yeah, I do have some benefits for that. 3 interesting facts about a certain Rebels arc that you didn't know about until now. Part 21, the Honorable Ones edition. Fact 1, the original script idea. The script would have specified that Agent Callus was picked up by an independent trader who intercepted his distress call, and that the Empire had expended its allocated time to search for a missing officer, demonstrating the Empire's cold, inhuman nature. Fact 2, the design of the beast. The design of the Bonzami's horn and beak is inspired by that of a truck-mounted snowplow. Fact 3.
Like the one that ran over Jeremy Renner.
Oh no!
Not in the middle of
God,
No!
damn, you're gonna get us canceled. What the fuck?
I thought we already were canceled, Luke.
Why is that canceled? This is what happened.
God damn it!
That's a statement of
Wow.
fact.
Did you not know you were a Jeremy Renner podcast? What the hell?
That was so good.
yeah,
That was
that
the
was-
best.
That was
the best
foul,
quote.
but you gotta respect it. You gotta respect it.
That
You
was
know-
god tier.
That
Fact.
was good.
Fact 3.
Char's like trying to get through this, like fact 3, motherfuckers.
Ralph McQuarrie is back again.
All
The
right.
construction sphere is almost of the same design as the Imperial complex that dominates Lothal's capital city, further underscoring that world's transformation into a factory for the Imperial war machine.
That's pretty cool.
Cool.
And there you
That's
have it.
the
Those are
3
three
interesting
facts.
I mean, how can we focus on fact 3 after what M said? But you know what? Here we are.
No, Jeremy Renner. We have Jeremy
Renner's fact
rain
number
brought.
3.
Jeremy Renner rain brought. So everybody blame Stardust M. It's her fault. All right. Lannis, let's go.
Oh, Grand Admiral. I don't even
All
know.
right,
We
there
knew
you
this
go.
was coming.
Hey, all it has to have is Callus. No other great writing.
No, there are very specific ones, but Grand Admiral, easy.
Well, I can tell you now it's not going to get a Grand Admiral.
I hope. And please fuck this up. Please, just please.
No, it's like I can't. This is my favorite episode of Rebels.
Yeah!
I was like, it's Grand Admiral. It's my favorite episode. I love it so much.
All right, that's only 2 for Grand Admiral. You got to give it your honest opinion. Everybody else, do not be.
What was not honest about Alanis
No,
and I's
no,
opinion?
I'm saying no. Those 2 have those 2.
Bale, please, Bale. I'm begging you.
Hey, those 2. I was expecting that. Bale.
Please,
See,
come
if
on.
I said Grand Admiral, you can't say I'm lying.
That's true.
What are you gonna do? Try and prove the episode isn't good and upset the 2 people that said
Just gonna do that.
Yeah, all right. Well, no, it's fine. Luke typically resorts to just silencing people.
That's true.
I'll go
Especially
with
when it comes to
Admiral.
anything doing with Alanis. That's canon.
But yeah, I'll go with an Admiral for that. It was a good episode. Not my
All right,
favorite, but
Admiral,
honestly
there you go.
solid.
All right, that's fair. Char.
Hi, Luke. It's a Grand Admiral. I think it's. I think the main reason why I make it a Grand Admiral is because of. I love it when enemies or when people that hate each other come together and work things out.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of Star Wars is when
Love
the enemy of
lovers.
when
Enemies to lovers is the best trope ever.
when
trope.
two people that hate each other come together to be friends. I think that's one of
man.
the most best
Mormon
parts.
friends.
Char,
And then-
Char, that's our relationship.
Fly Eagles fly. But
All right.
but to sum it up, I just think that this was one of the biggest points of Rebels that we've gotten so far is that we finally are getting an Imperial that's not just a regular Imperial, a high-ranking ISB agent Imperial that's now understanding why the Empire is so shitty, and that was my favorite part. So.
Hereth, go ahead.
Enemies to lovers. Great Admiral.
I was
Good
gonna
choice.
give it an Admiral, but now I've
But
got to
it's
give it a Grand
quite a pick.
Admiral.
No, you
Actually,
okay,
no,
yeah, Luke. Honest opinions. Honest
no,
opinions.
You can't
fucking lie on this podcast.
I was gonna do a bait and switch.
You
because
should
I
have.
actually really do enjoy this episode. I've watched it 4 separate times.
Oh, 4 separate times. It's a really high number for Luke, everybody.
I will say twice
Hey,
because I could not come up with a question. Because
That is true. That's
this-
canon.
I don't usually connect, but after watching it 4 times, it's a Grand Admiral.
Bale, how does it feel that you're the only
Times,
person?
and with Alanis only slightly threatening him.
Only a little bit.
Wait,
Only
so I
one,
just
but it's
imagine
valid. This
I just
episode.
imagine Alanis is at Luke's house right now, has a gun pointed at beyond the camera, you better give it a fucking
No,
Grand Admiral."
Under the
she has like a gizmo.
sniper?
Oh,
A
I
sniper?
have, no. I have his
No,
whole
she's got it
apartment
bugged.
bugged.
Yeah, she's
Yes,
got
this
it
entire
bugged.
time I have
So,
it set to
You
whisper.
might be joking, but she might actually have a gun.
Crosshairs
Somewhere.
up in the
Yeah,
in the rafters,
in the trees.
yeah.
Or
she's
that
in-
clone from the Bad Batch episode.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm kidding. We're not actually friends. Enemies to friends.
I
We're
hate you.
always friends.
Enemies to lovers,
Someone
Luke.
start
God.
the AO3 tag.
All right.
Pod 1's
Anyway.
AO3.
Okay.
Oh god.
All right. That is gonna be it for this episode. All right. Stop. Oh my god, I cannot handle this right now. All right. M, where can the good people follow you? Char. I'm gonna
I didn't do anything, I swear.
Oh my god.
Hey. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Char's number 1 fan is ironically named
Charlie, you know what
Charlie.
you're talking about.
Huh. We didn't know he had some
I
Char J
said
stands.
Char. Anyway,
Char just is using ChatGPT this entire time, just copy pasting comments into the chat.
Go ahead. Oh no!
He died again.
What a great moment! Go straight to M, and we just get the silent treatment.
Hey, at least she's happy.
Hey, look.
That is true. Hey,
Look
can
at her.
somebody
Look-
screenshot that?
Look how happy she is. Look
She
at that.
looks so happy.
Also, Luke,
Alanis-
we should go to the elephant road to the British disease.
Like,
No.
is it so?
No,
like,
we'll go to the British disease, the colonizer later.
so like, I'm imagining.
All right, I'm gonna make this quick. You can follow me at Not a Kyber everywhere. You can follow me at Discovering the Galaxy on TikTok. You can follow me at Is Agent Callus back on Twitter, and you can listen to me at SithFaced at SithFacedPod.
What?
Jesus. All right. Bale, where can the good people follow you?
You can just find me at Grandmaster Bell on everything, and weekly here for Game of Thrones reactions.
Yep. You can follow Stardust M on literally everything. Stardust M.
Twitter is at _ Stardust M though.
Good job.
Also, I love how you're doing all her information. I just love
Oh,
how
I'm
you're-
literally I was literally pulling it up as
There you go.
Go.
I was like, I gotta promote
she's back.
Bestie.
All right.
Now she can promote her stuff.
All right. Now you promote your stuff.
Even though we told you to not promote your stuff for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, my Wi-Fi has been so shit tonight. I don't know why, but
It's all right.
you can find me on Twitter, Instagram at _StardustM, on TikTok at StardustM, and you can also listen to my podcast, Kessel Run Relay, on anywhere you find a podcast, and we're some variation of like Kessel Run Relay on all social media. So,
All right, Hereth.
Well, you can find me at Hereth Productions on TikTok and Instagram, Hereth_edits on Twitter, and of course you can find me here on the Pod Ones. Can I say this any faster?
Oh, he didn't say Hive. He hasn't been saying Hive.
Wow.
Because who's been using Hive, honestly, since Twitter is still alive?
That's
Let's
fair.
be 100% honest here. Come on.
Char, where can the good people follow you on the social medias?
Good people can find me on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at CharJ, as spelled right here. And you can find me here at the Pod Ones podcast every Thursday night as we cover our Star Wars Rebels rewatch. Next week, we'll be covering Season 2, Episode 18, Shroud of Darkness.
Also, Luke, I'm surprised you didn't say fantastic people. Because Char wants fantastic
Nah,
people,
you know what?
apparently.
Fuck the fantastic people. I don't care.
Hey,
I'm
that's
not
not
in the
nice.
mood for that
Apologize right now.
No.
Apologize. Apologize.
You guys can follow us at the Pod Ones on all of our social media platforms: TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. If you guys like what you see and this is your first time being here, thank you for being here. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so that you don't miss any of our new content. But that's gonna be it for this one, guys. And may the Force be with you
Always.
See you guys.